That is what Graham has got right here.
Lots of doing. And the first thing they need to do is get a stop here and cause a turnover.
Man goes in motion and takes the speed sweep. That's Josh Roberts again. That was a great stop by the Graham defense. I think it was Hunter Wardup, making the tackle over there on the speed sweep.
That's a great job by Wardup getting out in space. They've done a better job on that speed sweep. That's hard to say. In the second half, and no gain on it that time.
Yeah, early on they were stopping T.J. Cole and Chauncey Martin up the middle pretty well and couldn't contain the speed sweep, and in the second half they kind of reversed that trend. Cole had his way on that opening possession for Pleasant Grove. And he's going to take this sweep toss and head right and has some running room, and he carries tacklers with him to about the 12-yard line. Short of the line to gain, but not by much, maybe the 13.
Wes Martin in on tackle again. He came into the game with 115 tackles. He might have had another 100 tonight. He is all over the football field, and every time he gets up, he's dragging that right arm and playing with a lot of heart, a lot of guts for his teammates.
He sure is. He's probably going to need a pad on the other arm after this game is through tonight. And bad news for Graham as Bruce Garrett checks into the game. He has had a terrific night tonight. And he takes the carry.
Ooh.
And he does get the first down. But I tell you what, Joel Jones got his money's worth on that tackle.
Yeah, they're going to give him the first down, but that's a great tackle by Jones. The drive will stay alive, and we marked at a little bit outside the 10, so they do still have an opportunity to get the first down.
James Wiggins checks into the game for the Pleasant Grove Hawks here. Maybe a seldom used fullback, but they seem to have no shortage of firepower on this offense. I think Luke Harmon may be back there with him. Wiggins gets the carry up the middle, and as he crosses the 10, he's pushed back a little bit, and fans kind of erupting on one side here. We've got a good contingent, both fan bases tonight, Pete, traveling on, I think, what is a school night.
Yeah, what a nice, great job by both fan bases. Half of the first deck's full, the whole and second deck of the Graham side about halfway full. It's pretty impressive how these folks have come out and supported both teams.
Both these towns about 125 miles away from here. Graham out near Mineral Wells in Palo Pinto County, and Texarkana right on the Texas-Arkansas border as T.J. Cole takes this handoff into the right side of the line for a yard, maybe two.
Once again, Joel Jones, really nice job of filling the hole. Got a little help that time from Gordo Renteria once again. But here you go, it's third down.
In Pleasant Grove, it should come as no surprise. Melissa was a really good team, and they boat raced this team last week, 55-14, and even put it on Gladewater. Gladewater is usually a pretty solid team, and they thumped them 50-7.
Well, they're the real deal.
They sure are. Third and about 8 needed.
Graham didn't have enough guys on the field, and they got a timeout. Now we got another flag.
You got flags down on the field, and Carson Cox just had a touchdown taken away from him.
Well, I think what he's going to call, and I don't know how he can call it, but he may call timeout on the defense because they only had 10. Okay, so but if they called timeout, it don't matter. He was on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage when they threw the flag, when they snapped the ball. It's a timeout. So let's see what they decide.
Yeah, it takes all 5 of the crew this time to confer to sort this out. Down at about the 10.
Well, it took me to the 8:34 point of the fourth quarter to get confused as well.
Like you said, we'll see what they call. I guess there's no way you can get an illegal substitution penalty on you if you've only got 10.
Yeah. Let's see.
No flag on the play.
That's right. They got timeout. That's the right call. That's the right call. You can't call offsides if you give them the timeout. If they didn't give them the timeout, then you're going to get the offsides call. So you can't have both.
Right. So that Carson Cox is probably stomping his feet there after he had a sure touchdown But we'll see what play Pleasant Grove dials up this time and whether or not Graham can make the stop.
Grove fans not happy with that call. Just points off the board.
They do not like it. A kid like Cox has already had a big play tonight on that one-handed grab on that catch and run he took in for a 53-yard TD play. And this is about the most prolonged timeout I've seen in a while.
I don't know what they're talking about. I can tell you what they're talking about. The official on the Pleasant Grove side has to deal with Coach Wilson, and he wants a better answer, I think.
Right. Yeah. Poor John Miller. He is just taking an earful from Josh Gibson over here.
He's about to say, Coach, it's 35-7. You can't have the penalty and the offside, so let's play football.
8:34, and play has been stopped for
2 minutes.
2+ minutes, I think. We're not really sure why, and neither is Pleasant Grove, and probably not even Graham.
I will tell you this: these officials have given these coaches plenty of face time.
Yeah, right. Well,
and I think they've done a pretty good job. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, he's going to bolt out of the huddle pretty quick again. They may be going his way again. They are. And he is wide open, and he drops it.
Got turned around.
Wow, he sure did. Would have been a tremendous catch if he was able to hang on. But like you said, he got turned around. Couldn't pull it in.
Yeah, that was tough play right there. Ball thrown on the wrong shoulder. And, boy, what a great effort to almost make the catch. But no, and falls to the ground. And we're going to see Dylan Williams once again.
6 of 10 on the season, 0 for 1 on the night. This will be a 26-yard attempt for Williams, right in between the hash marks. He flew his last attempt wide. That is a worm burner of a snap, but Williams overcomes it and boots it right through for a 26-yard field goal. And Pleasant Grove stretches out the lead to 38-7 with 8:03 to play. We'll take a break and come back in a moment. You're watching the Class 4A Division II semifinal on the NFHS Network. So Pleasant Grove can't quite get a touchdown on that drive. They don't, but they come close. And Graham with a mini win in stopping him to a field goal. Short kick fielded at the 26-yard line by Adam Groves. He takes it up to about the 40, maybe the 41-yard line. Called it a 15-yard return. And Graham, for a change, will start off with some good field position.
And they controlled the ball on that drive for over 5 minutes, 5 minutes and 27 seconds.
They've
done a good job of that in the second half.
Pete, they have had 2 clock-burning drives in the second half that may be more than anything can wilt the spirits of the Steelers.
And the funny part, well, not the funny part, but the interesting part is the drive they scored on was the shortest one. It was only 2 plays, and they went 90 yards.
So we'll see what the Steers can uncork. They're back to a 5-receiver set. 3 split to this near side over here, as you can see. Horn throwing a deep slant, and that is a nice grab made over there at the 50 by the wideout Jake Lanham.
That's a great catch. Got to worry about him. He came down, looked like he hit his head right on the turf, but bounced right up, first down.
Snuck right under the defender to make the grab. Deep slant again.
Oh!
And Lanham with another catch.
Oh, that's not a penalty. Oh,
maybe not in theory, but in reality, a flag flew.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's just a football play. They won't show it again here at the Ford Center, and they're not ever going to do that. They don't do it at AT&T Stadium. When there's a close play, they just will not make the officials look bad. But I'm not sure about that one. It's a great catch. I give the young man all the credit in the world for making the catch. but you can't stop. You cannot stop when you're going to make a tackle. The guy was still standing up, so I don't know.
He got popped pretty good, and he popped right back up, which was pretty good. Let's see what Randy Wilson says.
Targeting.
Ooh.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Number 11. Through his actions, number 11 is ejected.
Oh, when they throw him out of the game as well, that's a huge tackle. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and
And that's Xavier Benson.
Unlike college, and he would have to sit out the first half of next week.
Yeah, that's right.
Benson would. Now, unlike college, they could go replay it. And Pete, I don't know if you saw, there was an article earlier this week that asked if
we'll keep it here.
If some high school games
take the mic off,
replay,
sir. Turn off your mic
where it's available.
Well, and a lot of that has to do. We'll keep it here. I'm surprised they're putting this up on the screen, but that all came back from the Trinity 6A game with Trinity and Allen, where there was some very, very close calls. That the game that was televised, and they're not going to show it in the stadium, but they showed it on TV. There was 2 or 3 calls in that game that changed the outcome of that game, and in social media, the Trinity fans, and then a lot of people in the right high school football sports, in the papers, were questioning should they do it at this level? And I, for one, if they can get it right, they need to do it, and that's the bottom line. And that means bringing replay in on games that you can, you should.
Yeah, it would be it would be quite a disparity for so many teams. They obviously can't do that. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
This is a nice grab out in the flat by Callan Mills again, and Mills starting to get heated up here in the second half.
But you think when they play the semifinal games, all the facilities, you can make that happen.
Right.
Pennington Field has the facilities. This place does. AT&T Stadium does. You just make sure that where you're playing, you have it.
Yeah, Allen.
It's very easy.
All the big venues pretty much
First
do,
and goal.
and they could make it work for the playoffs. This one goes wide. That one intended over there for Chase Gilmore, but Gilmore not able to dive and come up with that one. That pass was too wide. But Horn has been pretty good on this drive.
Yeah, you go back to, if Pleasant Grove hang on and win this football game, that's one of their better defensive players that's not going to be able to play the first half, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not right.
Horn in the gun. It is second and goal. Horn chased. Tucks it under. He's got running room.
Coming back.
And he is going to skirt out of bounds at about the 3. I think it was Tyler Allen over there to chase him out.
You're going to have a holding penalty. And I'm going to tell you who called the holding penalty. It was Josh Gibson. As he screamed and yelled, and after he screamed and yelled, got the call from our official, Randy Wilson. I'll be shocked if this isn't holding offense.
You'll be 5 for 5 if it is.
Well, I didn't agree with the targeting.
Right, well. Nothing you can do about that one.
Yeah.
That's a philosophical standpoint, not a
holding.
Yeah.
On the offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty.
So that is going to make it second and goal back at the 19-yard line. And I tell you, Horn, if he decided to tuck it under earlier, Pete, I don't know if they avoid the holding penalty, but he probably has a touchdown run.
Agreed.
Daniel Gilbertson steps up in the slot on the right. Receivers stretched between the numerals. Second and goal. Pressure coming. Horn to the end zone. Groves tangled up over there on the far side with Cameron Wells. And not able to pull that one in.
Really nice job by Cameron Wells. It's a ball thrown up for the wide receiver on that side, Adam Groves. And he's made some big plays tonight, but that time Cameron Wells did a good job of turning around, seeing the football, and knocking it away, and it's now third down. I'm sorry. Yeah, third down.
Yeah, third and goal from the 19. Might want to get a little dump underneath to make a more manageable fourth down and goal. And Horn squares up, throws for the end zone. Nice breakup made over there by the defender, Aaron Harmon.
And again, it's the speed of this Pleasant Grove defense is what's so impressive. because when that ball was thrown, the receiver had a step. Here it is. Great job keeping the play alive by Horn. Ball in the air, and there's the receiver and Harmon fighting for the football, but Harmon undercuts the play, and we have another injury on the field.
This is Ryan Pickleman, it looks like. We'll take a break in the action here. 6:55 to play in the fourth. You're watching the UI helped off, and coming in to take his place is Riley Duman, the 145-pound sophomore. Pickleman has had quite a night tonight. 2 or 3 pass breakups. He saved a touchdown or 2. It is 4th and goal for the Steers from their from the 19-yard line. Tucker Horn with time in the pocket. Now bounces out. Lots of time. Horn not going to elude all the pressure. The pocket finally breaks down, and he is sacked by a host of Pleasant Grove defenders, including Nick Gavril, the 6'3", 310-pound senior.
And that starts with the great coverage downfield. He had nowhere to go with the football, and when you have nowhere to go, you got to kind of keep the play alive, and that's what he tried to do. But give the young man credit for trying to keep the play alive, but they're going to turn it over on downs. And once again, Pleasant Grove's defense just does a great job there at the end of the drive within the red zone.
Graham has really done a good job of moving the ball in between the 10s. And then they'll get down there to the red zone, and Pleasant Grove's defense just gets salty as soon as they do. They have thwarted 2 potential scoring drives as the Sears got in the red zone. They take it over, and on the misdirection counter play, it is Bruce Garrett going over left tackle for a gain of 9.5, maybe 10.
Well, Garrett unofficially now over 1,000 yards for the season. He's had came in with close to over 850 yards. He had 1 run for 85 yards as a touch. He's over.
Yeah,
He's over. We don't need a stat guy. He's over.
Right.
Stat guy.
How much, we're not sure, but he's over.
Well, I'm telling you, he's over.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're right.
So 3 guys for this Pleasant Grove bunch, now over 1,000 yards on the season on the ground.
And they give it to the first back through, James Wiggins, I believe it is, carrying that one for a modest gain of about 1.5 yards.
Seth Ham again. Mentioned him earlier, how hard he plays in that defensive end position. Really did a good job coming down the line of scrimmage to make the tackle that time.
Great turnout tonight on a Thursday. This is, you may have the hashtag Friday Night Stars, but we're playing Thursday night football, and on a school night for many school districts.
Folks starting to take off a little bit early.
Yeah. It is a misdirection play again to Bruce Garrett. Breaking tackles all the way to the midfield stripe, and he's sniffing another first down. A little bit short.
Well, he runs hard.
He really does. When he's out on the edge on those speed sweeps, he's just gliding. But when he runs in between the tackles, he's not afraid to lower the shoulder and get nasty and bear down.
And looks like they're going to take Wes Martin out of the game. And what a warrior he has been tonight for the Graham Steer. Every time he makes a tackle, he gets up holding his arm. And I think coaching staff doing the right thing, getting him out of the football game. You don't want to make it any worse for the young man.
He had 115 tackles coming into this one. A tackle for loss, an interception return for 39 yards during the season. Had a really good game tonight. But unfortunately,
Garrett, sorry, buddy. Garrett grabbing the back of his leg, asking him to come out. You don't want to see anybody get hurt at this time. And Coach Wilson says, what?
They've had Pickleman go out with an injury. They've had Garrett come out here for a moment, and Benson ejected for targeting. So when you draw up the game plan for next week against Pleasant Grove's opponent, you gotta have some worry.
And they'll play the winner of West Orange, Stark, and Wimberley, a game that'll be played tomorrow at 7:30 at Katy Legacy Stadium. I hear that place is pretty nice.
Yes, I hear. Yeah,
it's pretty nice here.
Offense number 33.
Oh, another false start.
First down.
There has been very little Pleasant Grove's done wrong tonight, but this has been it.
Yeah, it's got to figure out a way to get on the same page with the snap count. Have to do that, and again, obviously everybody knows where they'll play next week. They'll play at Jerry World, and that'll probably be a Thursday game, I would think. I think it starts on Wednesday or start on Tuesday? I think it starts on Thursday.
Wednesday. The 1As.
Wednesday. So, yeah, they'll play Thursday.
Speed sweep again. Josh Roberts has some room, and he's got the 40-yard line, but he's short of the line to gain by a couple maybe. Did he stay in bounds? I think he did.
Boy, as an old offensive lineman, I love to watch blocking, and what a perfect block James Wiggins got. He's a fullback, but what a block. You kind of see it out of the corner of the picture right there, and that's what I like about this Pleasant Grove bunch. They'll block for each other, and so, you know, when you have two-star running backs and you're the third or fourth guy, you're still out there blocking. That's pretty cool, and you're seeing that here.
They stopped the clock momentarily, but they've started it up again. Misdirection play again. It is Josh Roberts, and it was Hunter Wardup trying to hang on for dear life, and he couldn't. And now a flag flies at the end of that play. Another frustration penalty by the Steers.
Yeah, and that again is just frustration. And you know, you're a 14-0 football team. You're not used to this, and this is what happens. And you get frustrated. And some of these seniors playing in their last game, and it's hard. You know, we all know how hard it is, but you gotta try to keep your cool and not do that sort of stuff. And you know, I sit up here and I say it, and I know how hard it was back in the day, a long time ago. But you just got to try. That's tough to see.
You mentioned West Orange Stark a minute ago, and that's the one team that knocked off the Kennedale Wildcats, whom we saw in this very venue 2 weeks ago.
They got to be pretty good because Kennedale was really good.
Yeah, a 3-point loss. Kennedale, Richard Barrett, the head coach, who got his 200th win that night. That's the only loss he suffered on the year.
If it's a personal foul, mark the 15 yards and let's go. These guys they've done a really good job until this fourth quarter.
And Kennedale taking on Stephenville, I believe, tomorrow night at AT&T Stadium.
What a battle.
That's going to be a battle royale.
And how about Aledo? And
yeah.
I mean, just so many. Mansfield Legacy did 2 great games. Well, what are we doing?
Yeah, right in that pocket.
Yep.
Stephenville, Aledo, even Graham tonight.
My work profession. I had a meeting with the folks at Aledo yesterday. My friend, they're fired up over in that part of town about that football team. They're really good.
Yeah, but it's about a
on the defense, number 17.
Wow.
That's a 15-yard penalty. Dead ball foul. On the defense, number 33.
Ooh.
A couple of
penalties will be enforced.
So they tack off 15 at the end of that run, and then another half the distance of the goal penalty, all the way down to the 12. But I was going to say, Pete, right in that about a 70 to 80 mile radius, there's a timeout on the field here. 3:22 to play. We'll take it with them. You're watching the UIL Class 4A Division II semifinal on the NFHS Network. One of those basically sawed down to about 13 on half the distance to the goal. Moves the Pleasant Grove Hawks all the way inside the red zone of Graham with 3:22 to play, and the Steers will really have to buckle down here to make a stop.
And that timeout called by the Graham coaching staff, and the message was, guys, calm down. You know, come on, let's play with class. Let's finish this game out correctly. And while frustrated, we all understand how frustrated we are, but let's do things right. Yeah,
they've had too good a season to get anything marred like that. It is Luke Harmon on the carry that he turns it up inside for a gain of about 4 to about the 9-yard line. Yeah, minutes ago we were talking about Kennedale and Aledo and Stephenville and all those, and even Graham here, all in about a 70 to 80 mile radius right there around it. Really good football. teams right in there, all making deep, deep runs. Tremendous year for all those programs. 2nd and 6. It is Bruce Garrett, and this time he's bottled up for a loss. Good pursuit and penetration by Hunter Wardup, the linebacker. Even lost a couple. So we said Graham had to rise up and really buckle down here, and they're showing it so far. Got a 3rd down and 8 stop to make, though. Clock at 2:15 and counting play clock now down to 10. And it's going to be Garrett on the sweep toss to the 10 and inside the 5.
Oh, more flags.
Yeah, right at the end of that play.
Holding. It's either face mask or a hold.
I thought it might be a face mask the way it ended right at about where he stepped out of bounds, but I could not see that far.
It's gotten awful sloppy here at the end of this football game. Let's hope that the last minute and 54 that there's no shenanigans. I love that word.
Use it again.
Personal foul on the defense. Face mask.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. That's just somebody trying to make a tackle.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Bruce Garrett is very fast.
Yeah,
You got to reach out and grab something.
And only a sophomore.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, this Pleasant Grove team with a sophomore quarterback and Bruce Garrett, even though they're losing T.J. Cole and Chauncey Martin and Josh Roberts, ought to be pretty good again next year. And if Josh Gibson has got them to the playoffs every year, they can count on a pretty good team. And taking it in for the touchdown for Pleasant Grove is James Wiggins with his first touchdown of the night. And that makes it a 44-7 game. Pleasant Grove on top. And Dylan Williams will be on to try his 6th extra point of the night. Brett Walker holds the snap from Reese Foster, and the kick is up, and it is good. 6 of 6 tonight on extra point attempts for Dylan Williams. We'll take a break and come back in a moment for the final minute 49. You're watching the Class 4A Division II semifinal from UIL on the NFHS Network.
Sure, but might be able to available right here on the NFHS Network. Just go to the webpage. There'll be a list of games.
Pooch kick fielded by Adam Groves, and after a 9-yard return, he gets blasted again. That has happened to him a lot tonight. He is probably going to start. He would start signaling a fair catch if there was more time, I think. Wow.
Interesting to see what Graham does here with just the 141 remaining. And great season for the Steer. Steers get 14 wins to get here. You can't take that away from them. And good to see that senior quarterback's going to get out there and finish the game for them.
A lot of new faces pouring onto the field for the Pleasant Grove Hawks here, including Aaron Harmon and William Cleaver, the nose guard. And this first pass attempt goes incomplete. Some of the other newbies out there on the field joining the rest of the defense include Jared Glover, a punter. A lot of new faces out there for the Hawks right now. 5 wides again for Graham on 2nd and 10. Tucker Horn has gone the distance. He's got Groves caught at the 40.
Whoa,
and
nice
Groves takes it another 12 yards after the catch. Really good gain there of 23 yards on 2nd and 10. Clock under a minute and a half to play now. Horn in the gun with time, throws to Groves again, caught at the 38-yard line. Groves got pulled down awkwardly, and sure enough, he is limping. He's going to fight it out and stay out there. He's had about a half dozen catches here in the second half alone. Horn in the gun. Looking left, throwing that way, caught at the 27. That's made by Jake Lanham for another first down.
Boy, when he has time, he has a rocket for an arm. And you can see why he was so successful and threw for so many yards this year. But early in this football game was the pass rush. It just never let him get into that rhythm.
Yeah, they got so far behind, they had to totally abandon the run.
Yeah, and it's hard to throw the ball every down.
Horn going to scamper for the sidelines and make it at about the 25. Small gain of about 2, and the clock is now down to 39 seconds left in the game. Graham will finish their really successful season at 14-1. A lot of guys that get this far and then lose don't feel like it's suddenly a successful season, but it really is. Probably takes a few days to look back and reflect on that. Horn in the gun with time. And that's probably just as well that got dropped because it was going to run down a lot of time. Graham has a couple of timeouts left with 34 seconds left. That one was intended for Callan Mills. Pleasant Grove rushing 4. At least they appear poised to do so. 4-2-5 alignment. Horn throwing deep, caught by Groves at the 15 to the 10 to the 6. And then he is stood up by 6 black shirts as he gets to the 6-yard line. A nice grab and gain there of 19 yards from Tucker Horn to Adam Groves. Clock stops momentarily to move these sticks. Groves has really fought hard here, Pete, in this half.
I'm very impressed with how this team has continued to fight even when the game was out of bounds. There's
Slant
no touchdown.
for a touchdown. Nice grab made there. Popped immediately, but hanging on is Daniel Gilbertson for the touchdown catch.
Well, a nice pitch and catch there, and good to see there. A nice another touchdown pass for the senior quarterback to end his career.
Boy, he really paid the price. Gilbertson is hobbling off slowly.
Well, in my mind, that's a worse hit than they threw the guy out of the game for.
Yeah, right, yeah. And so Greg Stimmenthal will try this extra point, and he knocks it through. And it's a 45-14 game with 11 seconds to play. We'll take a brief timeout and come back in a moment. You're watching the UIL Class 4A Division II semifinal on the NFHS Network.
Nice drive that time.
I'm playing chicken with my partner.
Another touchdown for the quarterback, Horn. That gives him an unbelievable number of 55 on the season. Congratulations to him. What a nice career he had at Graham High School. And, you know, it's bittersweet tonight, 45-14, but gets that touchdown here at the end of the game. 11 seconds remaining in this one, and it's all over but the shouting right now.
Well, you know, the last 3 games, Pete. Salina, 33-14. Melissa, 55-14. Tatum must have a heck of a D because they held Pleasant Grove to 21. And Aubrey, I kind of wonder, how did they score 28? Of course, they gave up 56.
Well, that game could have been out of the balance, and you know, you never know what happens in the end of the football game when you're not there. But all congratulations to Pleasant Grove. They are the real deal, and a chance to play for a state championship next week.
This one takes
a recover the football
golf shot, like a 9-iron, like one of your 9-iron shots there.
Wish I could get it to back up like that.
That was a good kick. It was recovered by the Hawks, though, and they can easily just run out the clock here.
Wiggins got the touchdown last time, and there he goes recovering the onside kick. And Congratulations, Coach Wilson and his staff, and the whole Graham coaching staff as well for both an outstanding season.
Yeah, Coach Kenneth Davidson of Graham and his staff. Congratulations to them, and the Gibson brothers, Josh and Justin of Pleasant Grove, and they'll be on for the state final appearance next week against the winner of either Wimberley or West Orange Stark, which should also be an epic game in and of itself. So the quarterback can just drop to a knee, and he will. And Pleasant Grove wins tonight over Graham in the 4A Division II semifinal game at the Ford Center in Frisco by a score of 45-14. I want to thank all the people here, the folks at the Star at the Ford Center in Frisco for their hospitality.